Dreamhack Winter, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is what it all comes down to. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and more importantly than that, we get to cast this. You're watching on Base Trade TV. This is Rifkin, joined by the lovely Australian caster, Zeph.
How's it going? I'm pretty excited, so why don't we just jump straight into this match?
That sounds great. You guys, up here in the top left corner of the map, it's a barcode, but he's green, he's Terran, and he's best known as Lucifron.
And his red Zerg opponent spawning in the bottom left-hand side of the map. From Quantic, it is Hyun.
Yeah, two very recognizable players, but I mean, the same could be said about every single person competing in this particular Dreamhack. That's what makes this so amazing. Like, everyone was talking about how stacked Bucharest was, and it was, guys. There's no arguing that. But look at what we got for Winter. This is all of the other Dreamhacks, like, producing the best of the best and coming together here at the end of the year. Now, of course, there's certainly some crowd favorites, but, you know, these are, I gotta tell you, these are two really good players to kick off with, Steph.
Yeah, I know, right? Going through the matches before to choose who we wanted, it was like, oh my god, who do we pick? I'm really glad that we snagged these guys, actually. I haven't seen a lot out of Lucifron lately, so it's going to be really great to see how he's been going. And similarly for Hyun, although Lucifron's been playing in the Team Story Cup, hasn't he?
Yep, for Mouse Sports, of course, a strong contender. Actually, that's what I like about Lucifron, though, just before we even touch on that point that you're going to bring up with the Acer Team Story Cup. I've been a big fan of Lucifron's TVZ since God knows how long, but the problem is he keeps to himself. He's not the most public, streamer. He's not like an EG guy who's on 24/7, so you don't get to see a lot of him unless you tune into these particular specific type of tournaments, whether it's Dreamhack or, as you just brought up, the Acer Team Story Cup. So I'm hoping a lot of you guys will not be too unfamiliar with the play stylings of Lucifron, but you should get a very good game out of this, at least a very good series, I should say.
Yeah, certainly. I'm going to say, those kind of players that don't stream often, they're not exactly one of the personalities that are always in the spotlight in the StarCraft 2 scene. They're often the scariest ones to come up against because you don't necessarily know exactly how they're going to play. You don't necessarily know what trends are going on in their playstyle at the moment. So I would expect Hyun to play pretty standard in this first game against him just to make sure that he can get a good feel for his opponent.
Yeah, and a small sigh of relief for Hyun here as well, not having to face Tasia anytime soon. I mean, he went from Home Story Cup to the Acer Team Story Cup back-to-back, fighting Tasia a lot, and he finally gets a group stage here now with a lot of other incredibly strong opponents, but can take a bit of a breather in that regard. Ooh! Loses a link to the Reaper, but nothing too crazy. We did see the additional 2 made, and I think he wanted to send those across, but the fact that the Reaper's being such a problem, there's no way he would have gotten across without picking those 2 links off. So, second Reaper about to join up here. Queen's on the way, and he had only losing 1 link for this. Not too shabby.
Yeah, at the very least, these Reapers should not be able to do any more damage. He's preparing very well to catch them on the top of the ledge. They're actually taking a lot of damage, but he does micro them back down, of course. Not going to lose them there. And now that the Queens are zoning him out too, hopefully these Reapers can't pick up any more annoying kills for Hyun.
Now, it's actually funny watching the Queens walk off the creep because, of course, they are so slow getting back to react to the Reapers being a bit of a problem. But Lings are still waiting, and these Reapers have not healed to full. Combat drugs did not kick in enough.
Yep, so finally you can get that creep spread started now that the Reapers have had to take a second. They could still snipe the creep tumor, but they're going to take a hell of a lot of damage if they do so. And apart from that, I mean, Lucifron's just kicking it as we would expect back in his own base, getting up toward that starport tech.
I would love if this was Banshees. It would be such a... I mean, Hellion Banshee isn't exactly uncommon, but after the Reaper opening, typically you expect those 6 Hellions. But because Hyun's got that Overlord big and fat and in the base, okay, no, he's still going to go for it. Tech Lab coming down on the racks. Hyun actually, I mean, he might not have seen the Tech Lab come down, but he's seen the positioning of that starport, and, I mean, it's kind of a dead giveaway, but Reaper's still trying to get back up here. These links now, of course, do have speed, and, ooh, he's going to sneak right and pass, but won't get too much information. Just confirms the one gas you already saw.
And unfortunately, he's just slightly out of vision of the third base that just went down for Hyun as well. So unfortunate little misstep there. I mean, it's not a mistake or anything. It's just had to be like 1 pixel to the right and he would have seen it.
An unfortunate
but you can probably assume
happenstance.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to say. And now he's coming back across the map with the Hellions and the other Reaper, so he should actually be able to poke down and just confirm that that third base has indeed been put down.
Yeah, now Hyun, I don't know if he was expecting the Banshee or not, but what's more kind of concerning, I guess, is the fact that this Banshee is not only going to be a Banshee, it's going to be a Banshee with Cloak. Now, Layer's on the way, and he should be able to get an Overseer out with it before taking too much damage, but again, now that the Overlord went back there, he saw this, he may even put one Spore Crawler down at a Paranoia, depending, because he knows his Layer's only halfway done.
Yep, well, he's just scouted it with his Overlord speed, so he knows exactly what's coming.
There we go.
And, yeah, there we go. He should be nice and safe from it. He does have 4 Queens out. 2 of those have been spreading creep very diligently, and unfortunately the Hellions just ruined that for him. But like you said, you know, the Lair's about to be done. He should be absolutely fine and hopefully not take too much damage from this Banshee. It should just be more an annoyance than anything else.
If Hyun didn't have this massive amount of Lings, this force could actually take on these 3 Queens, but thanks to the Lings getting right on top of the Hellions, will chase these back immediately. Gets us round on 1. Can he get another? Oh, he's chasing the tail end of this. There's so many Lings.
Yeah, he can't quite get there. Getting pretty close, but those Hellions have definitely been bullied off the map at this point. Sure, they can still roll around a little bit, but he's going to have to be really careful. And that Banshee taking a bit of a beating as well.
Yeah, only getting 1 kill so far. And, of course, Overseer just now finishing up. Hyun with, I gotta say, those are like the most aggressive early game Queens that still accomplished absolutely nothing at the end.
Well, I guess that helps zone out the Reapers and the Hellions a bit. And I've got to say, you know, he did put a pretty big hiccup in the creep spread. Those Queens should be out there dropping new tumors.
I mean, that's kind of the goal of those initial Hellions. I mean, if you get kills, that's great, but it's all about the map control. These 2 Banshees even come finish up just a little bit more. Of course, the maneuverability of these things is fantastic. Until Mutalisks are out, there's quite frankly nothing. Even Queens on creep can't really catch these, and if they do, 2 Banshees can take a Queen on pretty handily. But what I was pointing out was the third has been creeped up successfully by Hyun at both locations, so Lucifron will not be expanding anytime soon. However, one thing he does have to worry about while his tech is on the way, you know, we see Stim finishing up shortly, 1-1 finishing up shortly. We've got Spire coming out pretty soon for Hyun, and these Banshees, they're not going to be able to do too much for too much longer, so kind of limited use at the moment.
Yeah, they've pretty much run their course at this point. And I gotta say, even though he's done a great job at limiting the creep spread, Hyun's vision on this map is actually crazy with all these Overlords everywhere, even using them to spew a bit of extra creep. So I'll be very surprised to see those Banshees pick up too many more kills. Sure, they'll get a couple here and there. As you can see, they do a lot of damage to those drones and pick them off with the double shot going off there. But getting zoned out pretty well by Hyun too. He's very on top of it right now.
Yeah, 11 health on this one Banshee. The control from Lucifron, though. This is why I love his TVZ. Lucifron is pretty much, in my opinion, got some of the best Banshee micro when it comes to StarCraft 2. If you got, oh my god, 2 health still. If you never got to see him in Wings of Liberty, there's not a lot of Wings of Liberty things I do recommend, because Heart of the Swarm is where the game is at, but go look up any Lucifron versus Earth games, and you will see the best Banshee control of your life. Now, coming across the field with those damage Hellions from earlier, we'll be able to initially get some good hits on these Lings, and luckily for him, there's not a lot of Banelings or any Banelings out just yet, but this is so many Speedlings.
Yeah, beautiful moves by Lucifron.
Oh, immediate surround.
He's actually going to get surrounded. Oh no,
here comes the Banshees.
So
a little bit too late, but they will help clean up most of this. But of course, now the Mutalisks are out too. Baneling's about to spawn on top of the Marines, picks them up immediately, but of course that makes them susceptible to the Mutalisks in full retreat now. As soon as that boost runs out, oh, Lucifron, is he going to lose it? No, he should be fine.
Yeah, that was rough. I mean, that was really nice timing from Lucifron, actually, because he was hitting just as Hyun was trying to get those mutas out, so unfortunately he had to spend his gas on a few of those Banelings, but being on the creep, this just worked out so well for Hyun with this round. And unfortunately, Lucifron hasn't really been able to deal any blows to his opponent yet.
Maybe not through economic damage, but I mean, still, we talk about the map vision of Hyun. This is a player who, not unlike Scarlet, would normally have creep halfway through the map and then some like 4 minutes ago. Instead, is only just now coming across the halfway map. Only just has the bare bones as far as Overlord vision goes. I mean, he's maybe not taking hits, but he's not out of control like he otherwise would be. And that's what you need to do against a player like Hyun. This is a guy you cannot, like, you give him an inch, he will take a mile.
Although he has been caught out of position here, the rest of his army was out in the middle of the map, got met by the Zerg ground force,
nice.
and in the meantime the mutas are picking off whatever they can. They will have to get out of there now, but he managed to pick up a few worker kills there.
It's worth noting too, he lost none of the Mutalisks. One did get incredibly low, but as we all know with tissue regeneration, that doesn't really matter. It's like a Reaper. If you didn't kill it outright, it's gonna come back later.
Yeah, and holding on to as many of those mutas as possible is really, really good for Hyun because, of course, he needs that mutable to help him engage more cost efficiently against the biomine force that's going to be coming out from Lucifron. And he's already ready with his next push, so with his mutas, he can continue to dip back in here just before the defense is complete. Oh, that's so painful for Lucifron. He has to come back with a few of his units, and all he can do is clear some creep.
Yeah, I mean, if he could just get this bunker down, this becomes like half of the problem, that Hyun is able to just keep pushing in here without being punished. Lots of Widow Mines down. Oh, he's got to be careful. He sees it with the Overseers. He knows this is bad bait. Pulls back immediately, but some good control limits the losses. Now the mules do move in, but unfortunately they fly right on top of the Marines, but here come the Banelings.
Oh, just way too much on the ground here. Beautiful control from Hyun, making sure he only lost Zerglings. So those Widow Mines, and now he's crashing through everything. The mutas are actually getting very hurt, but that's just too much. GG.
Just spiraled out of control. Lucifron goes down in game number 1.
Pretty action-packed first game there. I hope you guys enjoying.
That's how Hyun plays, though, let's be honest. Like, we say Polta's always attacking, and Hyun always has too many Banelings.
More or less.